Morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. Thank you for your support, your love, your kindness and your longevity to some of you. And if you're new on board, welcome. This reading is a general reading and will apply to whoever it resonates with, whether that's today, tomorrow or next week. When you're watching this, it is when you need to see it. I will be doing the Gemini reading after I do this one. So if you're waiting for Gemini, it will be coming up after this. A little organised. All right, we're using the Golden Tarot for your reading. The big favourite in the beginning. I haven't used it as much. It's still beautiful condition though. Okay, let's see what's going on. So if you're watching this reading, it is a collective reading. It's for whoever needs to take the reading with them, I guess. I feel like yesterday there was something else that I missed out on that I wanted to say to people. Oh, if you want a personal reading with me, please email me at theaussiegoddess@gmail.com. My website's closed at the moment and I will reopen it once I get up and running. But at the moment it was just causing more complications for me. So we will get back there. Is there anything else I need to speak to people about? Okay, let's get on with it. So we have the Seven of Cups coming through. Now I always say this is my card of illusion, delusion, confusion. So depending on where it falls in the reading, it can be a matter of us having a lot of opportunities, a lot of daydreams or dreams about things, but it can also mean we have so many choices that we're confused by them. It can sometimes be illusion. So it might look like you have plenty of opportunity, but maybe that isn't the case. But for whatever reason here, for me, it really makes a difference where it sits in the reading. Like for me, some of the tarot cards are pretty straightforward, but with the Seven of Cups, it can mean a lot of different things. I feel like confusion before I go any further. All right, so we have the Three of Cups behind this. So this could be some sort of confusion about a relationship you're having. You could be dealing with someone who's committed to somebody else, or in a situation where they have are dealing with somebody else in their life. Very often that happens. Now I want to say it also makes me feel the confusion could be because you haven't received an invite to something, a wedding, a celebration, that type of thing. But definitely feeling more confusion with that Seven of Cups in this energy. Yeah, we've got the Moon. Sometimes things happen to us. It's just the way it is. But sometimes because of our human nature, and I guess a little bit because of our egos, we will start to question why this has happened, or what we did, or did we even do something to create a problem. When the Moon energy, and you could be dealing with a Pisces here, when the Moon energy comes around, it really is that energy of not knowing. Everything's in the dark. It's not true. It's not revealed. We can't see it at this point in time. So to me, there seems to be some sort of confusion, I feel, around a relationship with somebody here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but for me, not everything is clear. You're either considering what you should do in this situation. You may be talking to people, but definitely feeling is to do with romance. All right. So there's confusion around a third party situation, I would say here, and you've got no answers. So you could have been dealing with somebody who is dealing with somebody else and you still don't know where you stand, whether, you're the person this person wants to be with. You obviously want to be with them with the Two of Cups. We do have the Temperance card, which for me is don't give up. There's a feeling of what I would see as divine timing here. All right, let's see where we're going with this. So I feel the overall energy I'm getting through here is that I'm speaking to someone who's dealing with a relationship where it's not clear whether that relationship is between you and another person or whether there's some sort of third party going on. Now, sometimes it might not be a third party as in a person. Sometimes somebody may be behaving that way. So, for example, you may be dealing with someone who makes excuses as to why they can't see you, or excuses for, being able to only see you on certain days. I feel like sometimes people don't always make those excuses either. Sometimes they just don't see us and tell us they're going to see us and don't turn up or whatever. So it could be some of those complications coming for you. But for me, it makes me feel personally that you're dealing with somebody who's dealing with someone or something else. And it could be their work is interfering, but they're being open with communication, but you're not really sure if that is the case. So let's have a look. I feel like with that moon, you're a little bit unaware of what's going on. All right, so we have the Five of Wands coming through. So this is, for me, always about our own conflict. Sometimes it can mean you've got conflict with other people. So it could be that you are feeling a little conflicted about this relationship. You know, is it really me that's important? Has this person got somebody else on their radar? I think we'll just get into it a little bit further. All right, so I have the Four of Cups coming through. May have happened to you before and you're questioning that as well. Ten of Swords, do I give it away? Do I complete this cycle? Okay. So I feel like you're in a space now where you're starting to think, do I keep persevering with this? Am I being treated? The problem is sometimes things can be so subtle that we tend to ignore them, not really thinking that there's a problem or an issue. Or we may be dealing with someone who's gaslighting us or making us believe there is no issue when we know there is. And that's when you get the gut feeling, those horrible sort of stirring in your stomach where you want to become a private detective. But what happens is when the Five of Wands comes around is we go backwards and forwards. So when we're with that person, we may really like them, we may really want to be around them, but when they're not there, we start to question, is there something going on? Things don't fit right. That's usually when somebody's playing with your emotions or your mental state, because when they're there, they're all about you. But when they're not there, it feels like something's not quite right. So you start to get suspicious. And I do have people saying to me, I feel like something's going on, but I don't know whether to trust my intuition or not. You know, in those situations, you ask the person, and if they're not upfront with you, something is going on. Clear. If you're making excuses for them, clearly there's a problem. So I feel like here, this isn't the first time you've experienced this, or maybe you've had some sort of other experience here that may be influencing you a little bit. I do feel that you are looking at, you know, maybe bringing about some sort of ending here. And that's where you're at in terms of this reading. I do think it's romantic, but I could also be talking to somebody who's in business, who's running a business. You may be wondering at this point in time whether you're getting the full story, what the problem is, what's not being spoken to you. So I do have the High Priestess here, and I like seeing the High Priestess because that does tell me you are listening to your intuition. You do have the Six of Wands here as well with the Three of Wands. Okay. What I feel like here, I'm just going to have a drink of water. I feel like here that you're on the right track with the High Priestess and the Six of Wands. But I also think with that Three of Wands, it's like maybe you are ignoring it, thinking that you really like this person, you really love this person, and you want things to work out. You're looking towards the future, you're trying to be positive about it. So I feel like here, on the one hand, you are sensing what is right, but on the other hand, you're trying to look past it and move forward. And I think that, you know, we always try to look past things and move forward and try not to let things play on our mind. But I think in this particular scenario, perhaps a lot more is going on than you're paying credit to. Let's see where we're going. Knight of Cups coming through here. Definitely information coming to you here. We have the Queen of Swords. So and the Page of Swords. So there does seem to be communication. I feel like here you may have communication coming from a different source. You may have communication from somebody who's either been in the same situation, or you may have information coming to you from the third party, or you may have some sort of communication coming from somebody else. It's going to help you see things a lot more clearly. However, I feel like you're going to have a bit of a face-to-face with this person as well. I actually feel like you may not have that conversation with this person until something becomes evident to you. The Page of Swords for me is very much about investigating. you know, really researching something, really looking for something. So to me, it makes me feel like somebody's going to say or do something that's going to put you on this path of trying to find out exactly what's going on. But I also see you going to the person directly and saying to them, okay, I need to know what's going on now. We need to have something more open, because I'm feeling here that I'm not getting the information and I want the information. I do feel though, and I have to say, that you're on the right track. I feel like what you're feeling is true. Perhaps you are ignoring your intuition, and we tend to do that when we're invested in someone. We may not always be open about that. So there's a lot of confusion here for me around some sort of situation you're in where a third party may be involved. It may not be a person, it may be another situation that's becoming a problem, but it's definitely being hidden from you here. I do think it's in regard to a significant relationship. I do feel here that with this Temperance card, you're seeking to find out what's going on. There seems to be a balance, and I do feel here that you're not giving up on something. And the Sun is at the end. You could be dealing with a Leo, and I feel like you want to get to the bottom of it. And maybe it is a relationship that's fairly new. It could be a relationship that's been going on for some time, but now you're sort of thinking you're not getting all the information, or things aren't as clear as they should be. All right, let's pull you an oracle card. I always think if you ask a person what's going on and they're, you know, reluctant to give you the truth or reluctant to offer you something, then something is not quite right. Absolutely. We have the card of blessed again. So I think that's quite interesting, because I think that came out yesterday. And the only thing I can think of here that you would be blessed with is that you can trust your own energy. You do have the card of yin. So let's have a look at that, because I think that's the card of inaction and blessed. Maybe you need, some of you need to wait this out. Maybe it's not ready to be dug into yet. Feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. So like I said, I feel like somebody else is going to come forward here and give you some sort of indication of what's going on. So maybe it is better just to sit back and wait a little while. Maybe somebody is going to give you information that's going to help you see things differently. Because it's a time of calculated receptivity where you gratefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. You know, it could be that somebody does have somebody else that's going to front you up. It could be that somebody has been doing something that they didn't want you to know about. I do remember a time when somebody was planning a surprise party for someone, and they were creeping around all the time, and the person thought they were having an affair, and it wasn't the case. So I feel like here, it implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. So this is about what they say as being the shaped, not the shaper. So I feel here that Spirit is saying to you that in time something will come to you and you will be able to work out which direction to go in. But there definitely feels to me like you're confused by someone's behaviours, and perhaps they're not being upfront with you about what the behaviours are. And it may be that it's, I don't want to say it's innocent, because I don't feel it is innocent, but I do feel this person may have something that they don't want to talk to you about this point in time. Maybe they're dealing with an ex that they're trying to get rid of or something, but maybe they don't want to muck up what they've got with you too. So just wait till you've got the information and then you can forge ahead. All right, and we do have the card of blessed coming through with that. So I do feel there is a good outcome for some of you here, but even if it's not a good thing, then I feel like you have a good outcome in that you learn to trust your own intuition, your own feelings, your own gut. So that's why I think that's come out. All right, I will leave you with that. Thank you.